Oh, hang on. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh my god!
G'day ladies and gents, join us on the first official trip into Troopy. We take you to the southwest from Black Point all the way to Lake Jasper. We're going to run through the very basic camp setup that I've got going here. And strap yourselves in because this is going to be a bumpy ride. G'day guys, welcome to the first official Troopy trip. Troopy's out for its first run, and to give it a good old test, I've got a bit of cargo on board. G'day girls. So packed for 2 days, 1 night. It looks jam-packed, but I've actually got a lot of room in here, which you'll see in a little bit. No fridge, just an ice box. All we got is a roof rack to hold our accessories, new set of tyres, and just all the other little bits and bobs I would have done, which you may have seen previous week. So let's hit the tracks and test it out. We got open diffs, so be interesting. Been a while. Hey, can you read the sign, kids?
Too late.
As I said, we're going back to basics here. We're going to lower our tyres. To do that, you will need at least a stick and a gauge of some sort. If you want to go a little bit more advanced, you can get a single tyre deflator, which does 1 tyre at a time. This actually removes the valve core. Or you can go a bit more fancy and use the twin system that I use. But you cannot get away with full driving, especially in sand, without having at least a stick and a tyre gauge. And it's pretty simple. The stick, you jam into your valve core, let the air out. And then the gauge allows you to see where you're at. The tyre pressures we're going to go with today are 18, although the front's down to 16 by accident. It's all good and well lowering your tyres, but let's make sure that we actually have a compressor to inflate our tyres at the end, because driving around with too low a pressure in your tyres on the highway at high speeds is not a good thing. So we've got with us just a cheap compressor you can get at most of those auto stores. I think this one's worth about 50 bucks, if that even. It takes a while, but it does the job. I find the Troopy very comfortable at the moment. Just very spongy and absorbing everything. Stock suspension. Low tyres definitely help. 16-inch wheels with 33s that are down to 16 PSI. So it's nice and absorbing it. What do you reckon, girls? Is this pretty comfy or what?
Yeah.
Got some dippy-doos coming up.
Oh my god, they haven't got it done. Oh,
Hey Hannah, look out the window. Look at all those Zamia palms. That's what all those little palm plants are. I also call them dinosaur trees. The spiky ones. Right, so Zamia palms are great for starting fires with. Now, just in the center of them, they've got this fluff, and it lights up pretty easy once you put a couple of sparks on it. So let's go grab some, and we'll take it to our campsite, and we'll use it to actually light the fire with. 3 fingernails, and they kind of hurt, so just be careful when you go through these. So have a look in here. All right, got a decent amount, enough for our 1 night, our 1 fire. This is the fluff I was talking about. Very combustible, just needs a couple of sparks in there. Now we got a ferrocium rod with us and some magnesium. So a couple of shavings of magnesium, bit of ferrosium on there with the sparks, and you'll see a bit later, it'll just go up nice and fast. All right, we'll put this in our pocket and we'll definitely use this at camp. The theme of this trip as well, it's not just about the first trip in the Troopy, it's also going back to basics, because we got one battery on board, that's the starter battery. We have an icebox in the back, we've got a roof rack holding the double swag on top, we've got a single swag in the back here with the girls, and that's about it, just our basic camping gear. In the boxes on the roof and some food boxes in the back, that is it. This Troopy is a workmate, so it doesn't have diff locks, so going up some of these little wombat holes, it's probably going to require a little bit more right foot than normal. So there's a fair bit to gauge on this trip. I'm actually really excited, and we're already doing it, but I'm just still looking forward to how it's all going to pan out. Right now we're on Black Point. We had a bit of a mission to get towards, I think what's called Cathedral Rock. Now there's a really cool rock formation that's 135 million years old. That's what it's estimated of the age of that rock. Didn't quite get there because it got a little bit sketchy with the big waves coming in. I didn't want to put the kids at risk. So we had a bit of a adventurous walk across the rocks and come back up. Enjoyed the sunset though. Best time to get here. Probably not the best time to go find camp though. We know where camp is, but to go and set up now with limited light, it's going to be interesting, especially with 2 kids. So we better get on moving. Time to start a fire. Remember that Zamia palm we raided for a bit of fluff? Well, we got that here. So we'll fluff that up there. Now, prepared earlier, we got some bark which we've sort of pulled apart. Then we got little sticks, and we got the slightly bigger sticks, and then we've got the wood that we brought in, which is some jarrah. And then we just go bigger and bigger from there. So let's get going. So first up, we got a bit of magnesium, and we're going to scrape that off with the back of the knife. What this does is when this ferrosium rod, when the sparks hit the magnesium, it really just ignites it. That's the next step. And we're going to give it a couple of good scrapes and then a nice big strike.
Yeah, she gone. Oh no.
Then we're just going to nurse it. Nurse the baby fire. And there we go. We're going to qualify for our caveman ticket here. Come on. Come on. Fire. Give me fire. There we go. How good is the fire, kids?
Good.
Yeah? Mesmerising, isn't it?
Little small.
Oh, it's going to get bigger.
How big?
Well, not too big, big enough.
Not like a bonfire.
No, big enough to cook on. And that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. We're going to cook on the fire. Do you know what we're having, kids?
What?
We're having liver.
Ew.
No, I'm kidding, we have mistakes. That's it. Just keep nursing it, kids, and it'll be good.
No, don't fall in it.
Just a couple.
Yeah, that's enough, Hannah.
Okay, and just let it go up a bit. Once those sticks take off, then you can put more on it. Here you go. Normally the kids will assist in setting up their own tent or swag or whatever they're going to sleep in, but given we're in camp so late, they've had a big day, so I don't mind doing that. They can help me pack up though. Good morning, ladies and gents. We're going to run through the very basic camp setup that I've got going here, just to give you guys some ideas. Let's start with a tip: dustpan and brush, and get up early and use it before the kids get out of bed. Now for me, the Troopy with vinyl floors is absolutely perfect. I don't know how I would feel if I carpet through this vehicle and the kids traipsing all the sand in. So, I mean, look, that's just from one day. We've got another full day ahead of us. Let's get into this basic camp setup. What I'm sitting on right here is my camping box. You can see it's labelled. Really strong storage cases. We'll get to those in a second. But although I recommend getting a cheap, just run-of-the-mill gas cooker, we've chosen to go with fire for this short trip. So we have a billy can, a frying pan, and we have a mesh or some kind of hot plate that goes over the coals so you can place everything on it and go cooking there. Don't cook over flames, cook over the coals. That is the basic gear that you need just for cooking meals. This, you can do coffee, tea, and boil pasta in it and boil veggies in it. With frying pans, make sure they're cast iron or spun steel. You don't want Teflon in the bush. Moving from the fire, we'll talk about storage solutions. That's the camping box you saw down below just before. And there was one thing I forgot to mention around the fire. Welding gloves are your best friend. It helps you move stuff around. And also really long tongs. Up here is where I keep the wood storage, which is a really handy place of having it. So you will note that what's up here is what I don't need until I'm at camp. So it's up out of the way, it's not in the way inside the Troopy itself. Let's go inside and have a look there. Sorry about the noise in the background. Old mate over there is on his adventure bike. He's about to take off. He's been warming it up for quite a while. One thing I definitely need on this Troopy ASAP is a table here, because I forgot to bring a table with me. And having the ice box here and my food and drink boxes over here, it just makes sense to have a table here, but I don't have one. All right, inside. Well, we've got the ice box. This is a 40 litre. Now the thing with ice boxes and fridges, if you've got a 40 litre fridge and a 40 litre ice box, there's a lot more room in the fridge than there is in an ice box, because you've got to have all your ice in here. So this is probably more like a 30 litre in reality. On this side, I've got the front runner boxes. Bottom one's got drinks, top one's got food. And on the roof, as you saw earlier, we got wood storage, and we got the camping storage, stuff that I won't need until I get to camp. This is what I wanted to show you, how I actually attached or secured these boxes. I'm feeling pretty clever about this one, so come in for a closer look. So, with these boxes and the Troopy, as you know, I pulled the seats out on the back. So where the bolts are down here, what I've done with these tie down straps is I've actually put holes in them. I put 3 holes in them, folded them over like a triple fold, and then I bolted it down on this side And over on this side, I've bolted it down here. And then we got one of those, I think they're called cam buckles there. That secures it here. And then on top, I've got this front runner one, which has this elasticity on it, like that. And because it's got a bit of give in it, it absorbs the vibrations. So I'm pretty stoked how I come up with that idea, because I didn't have long to really come up with a solution to keeping these boxes. As I was driving around before I actually packed the vehicle, all this stuff was getting tossed around. I knew I had to do something, especially having the kids in the back as well. On this side where the ice box is, I've done the same thing. Down over here, we got the same thing. I used one of the bolt holes. And as you can see, it goes around there. It's on that bolt hole there. And that's how this is secure. Also what I've done, sticky Velcro to the side. We've got these stashets on there, just with basic little tools and stuff in them. Let's talk water solution. I have 2 containers because I don't want to keep everything in one container. This is more for washing up, washing the kids, washing our feet, stuff like that, and rinsing out coffee mugs or dishes, whatever. I do have 10 litres of drinking water inside the vehicle, which you'll see right now on the screen. So that's our drinking water, our drinking supply, and this is just for cleaning up. The rest of the setup, apart from the obvious, tenting, swags, whatever floats your boat, make sure you have that, but have a spare blanket. A ground sheet is also important. If you don't have a ground sheet though, use the bag of your tent to at least get in and out. That way you don't transfer dirt into your tent or swag. But there's one more thing you absolutely cannot go without for driving and camping, and that's of course your 4-wheeling patches. So hit up the merch store and get yourself one of these, because without these, how are you going to go full driving or camping? You've got to have these. Pack up's definitely taking a bit longer than usual, and that's because I've got a troopy. Not used to having a troopy. So there's a certain way I've packed things up to make it fit perfectly. And if I don't quite get it right, I've got to redo it. But all in time, I'll get better at it and find better ways of packing. But so far, I'm very happy with how it's all working out. Super, super stoked, to be honest. Loving this car. Here we go, kids. This is the first hill climb for the troopy. That's half decent. Oh, hang on. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's all right. Actually, took it really well.
Oh my god!
You're up back there?
Yeah. No.
It's so fun.
I went everywhere. I went on the tiger. Sorry, tiger? Oh god, no. Oh my god. Oh!
Butterflies.
Oh my god, ready? There's another hill. It looks probably steep one. Ready?
Alright kids, we are at the beach, and I see you already put your bathers on, Hannah. Mm-hmm. You're hanging for the beach.
Yeah. I could be going.
Oh, look at that swell. Look how flat it is too. Footprints?
Yeah.
Well, we did pass someone just before.
No, not a human.
First official beach run in the troopy. We're in high range. We're in third gear high range. Man, it's so light, this vehicle. It just does it with ease. No engine tune. It just the RPM. It's just, wow. I'm actually impressed. The only time I'm a bit meh about the engine power is when I pull onto a highway and I want to speed up real quick. It can't do that, but just holding it, nice, heavy torque, it's good. Hey kids, who's keen to see a cave? I wonder if we'll see that big emperor penguin there this time. Hopefully, there's either a seal or a penguin there this time. You never know. You never know. We're at the end of Jasper Beach. I think this is as far as we can go. The cliffs are stopping us here. We've got a cave over here. Now, legend has it, there's been a penguin in here before and we got some photographic evidence of it. But I don't think it's there right now. Hey kids, let's go check out if there's a penguin in there.
Smells like coffee.
Epic caves to explore around here. Got a bit of a skylight as well. Really cool when you look up as well. You can see like all the plant life coming in. Something else. What do you think, girls? Should we stay here for the night?
No.
No? Why not? Got a shelter, got a beautiful view. How could you not want to stay here? We're not far from Lake Jasper and this section of the track is absolutely beautiful. It's like a rainforest. A lot of the southwest in WA is actually quite like a rainforest. You pull up, stop the vehicle, you can hear all the birds. There's a lot of wildlife out here. But you can just see how green it is. They get a lot of water down here. Oh! The track itself is not very difficult at all unless you got the incorrect tyre pressure. Having 16 psi, even in a few situations where I had the wrong gear choice going up a hill, we were fine. It just sort of crawled up. There are some big sort of wombat dips, that's where your wheels really articulate, and once it overstretches your articulation, that's when you start getting your wheel spin. So as long as you keep that momentum going up the hill, you're generally pretty well good. How good is this, guys? Lake Jasper, we've got a bench in the lake. This is the largest freshwater permanent lake in the southwest. And it is beautifully crystal clear. It's actually known as white water because there is a lack of tannins in the water. Beautiful. And I reckon this is perfect for swimming. What do you guys reckon? Should we go for a swim?
Yeah, sure.
It's pretty cold though.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Let's go for a swim. Yeah, next week, somewhere else in WA. Oh, that's cold.